Hey guys, it's Touchy 2201, and I'm bringing you another PBR battle. And I hope you like my first baby team, because this is the one I'm using. And for all of you who want to see Trapinch, you're in luck, because this is the match I'm using him in. And I'm facing Dark Bunny, an OU abuser with a itemless Garchomp. So I automatically knew Garchomp was not coming to this match. So I just took precaution and started out with Drowzee, or Ganesha, and Mini Chomp the Trapinch. If you're wondering why his name is Mini Chomp the Trapinch, look at his head when he opens his mouth. That looks like a Chain Chomp's head. You can't tell me it doesn't look like it. So they start out with a Togekiss and a Smeargle, and I'm like, great. I know exactly what's gonna happen. So I go for Trick Room and I go for Protect, because I know Togekiss is going for Trapinch and I know Smeargle is going for Drowzee. So I go for Protect, of course, and they're stupid because they walked into my hands, so they go to Air Slash, doesn't work, and I go for Spore, thank God for Insomnia, and I get the Trick Room up. Easiest OU stopping technique. So I had to cut out a lot of turns, so I go out for Crunch on the Smeargle, just to see how much I could do. If this was Earthquake, that would have one-shot that Smeargle, but that would have hurt Drowzee and wouldn't hurt Togekiss. So I go for Hypnosis on the Togekiss, and this Togekiss does absolutely nothing, next to nothing in this battle. So they go for Grass Knot, does next to nothing because Trapinch is light. Why it has Grass Knot, I'll never know. So I go for Quick Attack, and that guy was probably like, oh, that's just... He probably wasn't even expecting it, so the Smeargle is now dead, which is great. And Life Orb damage. And I go for the Attract, and now that Togekiss is completely immobilized. Why this dude... I'll just say it now, oh my god, spoilers. This dude did not switch Togekiss out even after this turn. I was like, what? Then he sends out Metagross, and I was like, great. So, I was thinking Hypnosis, but I didn't want to spam Hypnosis, even if it was an OU abuser against babies. I did not want to spam the Sleep Claws. So I decided, I figured, alright, let's go with Krogunk to get some damage on. And then I would just go for Protect with Trapinch to see what they're going to do next. But I was like, wait a minute. If I switch, then I'll just get rid of the Attract on Togekiss. And I know every time I switch, they'll wake up. So I do go for the Hypnosis on Metagross, and I go for Crunch on the Metagross just to get some damage off. Because I need that thing dead. Because that thing poses more of a threat than the Togekiss does as of now. So I go for Crunch. It does a little bit to Metagross, but what do you expect from a bulky steel type like Metagross? I get hurt from a Jaboca Berry, which I was really surprised that it wasn't an Occa Berry. So I take a lot of damage. I go for Hypnosis, and it actually doesn't miss this entire battle, which I was actually proud of that. And both of them are sleeping. I was like, yes. And this turn right here is Poop on a Stick. So I go for Focus Punch, and I go for the Crunch on the Metagross. But watch this. This has to be the gayest thing in history. And I said I promised myself I wouldn't say gay anymore, but oh well. This is the gayest thing in history. I go for Crunch. Does even more to Metagross. I guess the Jaboca Berry must have weakened it, I don't know. Or the damage just piled up. Metagross gets first turn wake up. I'm like, oh, come on. Man, kills off Trapinch with Earthquake. It does next to nothing to Drowzee. I was like, well, next to nothing to a baby Pokemon standards. Togekiss doesn't get affected, but it wakes up as well. And I was like, oh my god, really? But it gets immobilized by love. And I was like, thank you. That's all I wanted. Because that OU abusers do not deserve luck like that. So I was thinking Clamperl, but I went in with Krogunk. or Kermit. So Kermit is now out doing his Kermit things. Togekiss goes for extreme speed, that's the only reason it went first, and does not kill Drowzee, so it must have hustle. And I go for fake out, and just in case I knew that would kind of happen, or bullet punch, I wasn't quite guessing, I was just guessing that he would go for Krogunk, which I guess I was right. So Metagross flinches, and Drowzee's back with Trick Room, and I was like, yes, that is just awesome. So, now, the sleep clause is now not broken anymore, and I go for Hypnosis on Togekiss, because I just love putting that thing to sleep, because it is so funny how it did not get to attack, it only got to attack once, I should say. And then I go for Brick Break on the Metagross, because I still want that thing dead. Immobilized by Love again, and I was dying at this point. And Hypnosis hit again, so this dude had to have thrown his Wii remote across the room, or at his TV, and then I used Brick Break, being cocky, and it didn't kill it, and I was like, uh-oh, serious mistake. But I know if I gave a cross chop, it would miss every time, so at least I'm glad I gave it that. Earthquake goes off and kills them both, because Krogunk's crappy defense and Drowzee's tiny amount of health left. But I don't blame either of them, because it's a bunch of OUs. What do you expect? Well, a bunch of OUs and an itemless Garchomp. And a Magmortar. So, I send out my last guy, which is Clamperl, which is a one-man army. So, Clamperl goes for Surf. And watch how much damage this does to Togekiss. This is crazy. So, if I had gone for Ice Beam, I'm sure this would have one-hit knocked out it. Because look how much damage Surf did. That is crazy. So, Metagross is now dead, which is great. Togekiss is still asleep, which is awesome. And it did a hefty damage to it. Which is funny, because Togekiss managed to stay asleep probably the max amount of times the first time, and is still asleep now. So then he sends out Magmortar, which I had pretty much was dying on the other side. I was like, this is in the bag. I made the best comeback ever. So I go for Surf again, and I didn't bother cutting it out because this turn out, even though it took a long time. I said, even though he might get the first attack off, it's probably just going to be like extreme speed from Togekiss, and it probably won't kill Clamperl because it has good defense. And if they had a physical electric move that was first strike, it'd probably kill it, but they don't have that such thing yet. So Togekiss did try to go for extreme speed, failed because it's asleep. I go for Surf, and it pretty much obliterates both of them. Magmortar did not have a Pasho Berry, and it did not have a Focus Sash, which meant insta-death. So, I hope you guys like to see Trapinch, or Mini-Chomp, and I hope you guys like my original baby team. So, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you next time for another Leaf Green part. I will record Colosseum shortly, so see you guys next time.